So I want to take the whole concept of pipeline management and really reduce it down to a very simple concept and a very simple set of steps that you need to execute in order to stay in touch with the people that you need to stay in touch with. And so, as real estate professionals, sometimes we get discouraged because we're reaching out to people over and over and over again, and we're not getting a response. People aren't responding to our emails. They're just not responding. They're not returning voicemails. They're not returning phone calls. All these things. So, what I might submit for your consideration is that at any given time, only about 7% of your global inventory of contacts is even really contemplating a move. And so this number I don't pull out of thin air. The simple truth is about 7% of the population at any given time is considering a move. When markets are hot and supply is low, sometimes this number is higher. And then when markets are somewhat stagnant, you'll find this number is a little bit lower, but it's a pretty good average overall. So this also means that 93% of your contacts are not considering a move at this time. But as time goes by, the 7% is going to change, right? So people mature in their motivation level over time and eventually they transact. And over the course of their lives, they might transact 2 or 3 or 4 times. So you might find that within 100 contacts, you don't just have 7 transactions, you probably have 400 transactions over a lifetime. The goal is to make sure that you're relevant in these people's lives and that your follow up is meaningful and it will cause them to think of you when it comes time for them to buy or sell. So let's get to basics. And so, in order for somebody to think about moving or transacting, they're going to buy or sell a home, they're going to move, they have to be highly motivated to do so. Highly motivated. Why? Because moving is disruptive. There's financial implications there, there's social implications there. You're going to have to pack, you're going to have to find a different school system, potentially all of these different variables. All of these things can potentially cause stress in someone's life. And so as a result, people do have a tendency to have to, avoid it wanting to do it or avoid doing it. So they have to be highly motivated. So if that's being the case, so most of the people that we have in our database are not highly motivated at that time to do it. And the reason why people are not responding to all of our outreach is because we're kind of targeting this 93% with the expectation someone's going to return my phone call. Well, if they're not really in the target zone of motivation to transact, the odds that they're going to want to communicate with me about buying or selling a piece of real estate is really, really poor. And they're going to ignore me. And don't take it personal. The bottom line is you're just not providing value to them when they need it. So, on the 93% of the people that are hanging out in your database, it makes a lot of sense for you to engage in some sort of regular passive communication with them in terms of social media, what you're posting. You might put them on a drip campaign or a proximity alert campaign through the MLS, or you might have some other tool. You might use broadcast email methodology with MailChimp. You might even send snail mail, believe it or not. So all these things are fairly passive. What are you doing? All you're doing is you're trying to keep these people aware of the fact that you're in the business, you're relevant, and you know them, and they know you. And then when their motivation level starts going up for any number of reasons, because things have changed in their life, they get a new job or they get a job promotion, their family dynamics is changing. Maybe they're looking for a second home. Maybe they're looking for an investment property. As things are changing in people's lives over time, they're going to drift above our strike zone. And when they get there, I want to make sure that those people already consider you their professional realtor or their source to get information about real estate. So when it's all said and done, your pipeline management kind of bakes into a really simple concept. And that is you've got sales leads. If you see at the bottom of my spreadsheet, the tab sales leads, marketing leads, and past clients. My sales leads are people that I'm working with or I've had communication with, and I've got an estimated transaction date. Estimated transaction date. If I have an estimated transaction date, then must be some sort of a remark associated with that. There has to be a reason. So when it comes to transacting, buying, selling a home, or moving, typically people need to have a great level of motivation in order to do that because it's labor intense, it takes time, it's going to impact their finances, their entire lifestyle is potentially going to change when they talk about moving. So there has to be a fairly high level of motivation associated with that date. If we have the date, we have their core reason for doing it, it puts us in a really strong position to follow up. So in an earlier slide, I said, hey, maybe about 7% of the people that you're working with globally in your global inventory of contacts fall into this category, probably 7% at any given time. That 7% changes month over month, month over month. Your job is to find those people. Where do you find them? You find them in two places. You find them over here in your marketing leads. These are people that you're communicating with in probably a more mass type of modality. So you're communicating with them through social media. Maybe you have them on a drip campaign through the MLS or any number of other ways. And the only differentiator between a marketing lead and a sales lead is you just don't have an estimated transaction date yet. You will, because when it comes time for them to be motivated and start thinking about a date and a specific time for their move, we need to make sure that you're at their top of mind awareness, like you're the person that they're going to go to. Of course, past clients. The number one source for repeat and referral business is past clients. I also think this is probably the group of people that we have a tendency to not pay as much attention to as we should. If you've been in the business for a while and you've already done several dozen or even 100 or more transactions, you should find that on a regular basis, you're able to get additional repeat and referral clients on pretty consistently going forward. And as an agent who's been in the business for 3 to 5 years or beyond, really 80 or 90% of your business should be coming from past clients and past referrals.
Please hit that subscribe button and don't forget, visit our website and schedule your free 30-minute evaluation.